Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Yay. Hello, hello. I know this isn't this isn't really content that lines up with my algorithm per my page. But I just got to get it out and just talk about it a little bit. But I don't know, for those of you who watch Love is Blind, the last season here, so let me pull it up. I think they were in DC, if I'm not mistaken, because I actually watched Love is Blind. Love is Blind season, yes, season 7. Yeah, so Love is Blind season 7. Before I even get to season 7, let me just say this. For those of you who don't know, I have worked, I have my PhD in counseling. I have worked as a Christian-based counselor for over 15 years. I've been having my practice for over 15 years. And one of my specialties has been in marriage, family and children, infidelity, individual dealing with like overcoming trauma. In recent years, I have shifted over to doing work as a coach and helping other coaches build their business, grow their business, coaches, therapists, healers, because a lot of us, we have the gift, but we don't know how to we don't know how to be the CEO of a gift. We don't know how to be the CEO of our business. So we got the gift part, we got the coaching part, we got the counseling part, but it's really, really tough as far as like running the business and scaling it. So that's who I've been helping of recent. But I always watch these shows like Love is Blind, Love at First Sight. I love love, but also two, I love watching people enter into the covenant of marriage and the non-traditional route and not have, premarital counseling, not know who it is that they're marrying, don't have much of a background, because it really truly is a train wreck waiting to happen. And people are always like, oh no, things could work, it could be great. No, it can be great. I'm not saying that it can't. I'm not saying that they won't last forever. I'm not saying that great things can't come out of it. But those shows are a train wreck waiting to happen, because most times people love marriage, they love love, but they don't love the work that is required to be married, to stay married, to have a happy marriage. And so you're talking about two people who haven't done any type of work, probably have never been to therapy. There is no therapist on the show that they can talk to or reach out to. And okay, well, Married at First Sight, they do have the counselors, and then they have the pastor, Dr. Pepper, and then they have my girl. I hear her voice, but I can't think of her name. But yeah, her, and then they have Pastor Cal. But on Love is Blind, which is what I'm talking about specifically, they don't have that. And you're two people who have not done the inner work that is required to have a happy, fulfilling, rewarding marriage. Honey, it's just a train wreck. And reality TV knows that, and they keep season after season, and we keep tuning in, and these people are just messing themselves up. It's really unfortunate to see, but it happens all the time. Like, and I think that's the interesting part about reality TV. But this particular season, excuse me, this particular season had the storyline that's really just been catastrophic is Ashley and Tyler. And the reason why I say it's been catastrophic is because, for those of you who know Love is Blind, you know what I'm saying. For those of you who don't, you're talking about during the recording of a show, the gentleman was basically saying that he waited to the last minute to tell his soon to be fiance and wife that he has kids. When she asked him questions, he said, oh, he doesn't know if they know what he looks like. He's was a sperm donor, and he has 3 kids from the process of sperm donation and all this stuff. Based on what he said to her during the process, it seems like he's far removed, only to find out through the mother of the children that he's not far removed. And actually signed the birth certificate for the last 2 kids, which are a set of twins. And then the first child, he did kind of do sperm donor thing, but the mother of the children was in a relationship. She was married, but her and her wife got divorced, and Tyler moved in with her. And so that first child has memories and relationship with Tyler. But remember, in during the recording, he's just a sperm donor. He doesn't even know, according to him, if they know his voice, or they know his name or who he is or anything like that. And they get married, and the girl Ashley gets married to him upon finding out all of this information. Now, granted, there is some stuff that's taking place behind the scenes. There is stuff and conversations that we don't know anything about. But one of the things that I have come to realize after this woman has done interview after interview after interview is that she has, what I believe, has allowed marriage to be an idol to her. Why do I say that? Because what he was showing on camera and speaking to her and sharing with her, and then all this stuff comes out. Now, I'm putting 2 and 2 together here. Basically, he lied, and not just like leaving out details. These are egregious lies that he has told, and we are finding out that he has told her these lies, and they're still married, which is fine. That's her choice to be married to him, and it is her choice to honor her marriage despite these lies. But one of the things that I can tell is that she continues to do these interviews and say all these things. He's doing interviews. People go on these shows. Personally, I feel like, yes, they're going for love, but then they're also too are going for the notoriety that comes with it. Okay, no problem, fine. The problem that I'm seeing and how I feel like she is idolizing marriage is every time she does an interview, she is like sticking up for him. She is, which she should, that's her husband. But both of them are missing the fact that they have dismissed these children as if they're not human beings, as if they're not going to have access to this said internet and be able to look and see what their father has said about them. that they're basically sperm donors, that he doesn't know them, that they don't know his face or his voice. He hasn't spent time with them. And his name is on the twins' birth certificate. The mother of the children is filing for back support. So this is a very like complicated, very nasty situation that this young lady has found herself in. And from a perspective of being a counselor, from a perspective of someone who has been married for over 20 years, my perspective is that she is really in for something that she is not prepared for. But because she idolizes marriage, meaning that she wants to be married, it's very near and dear to her to be married. She wants to honor her marriage, but forgetting that part of the foundation of marriage is that honesty, is that safety, is that trust, is that ability to share your life with someone. Before you guys said I do, he is blatantly lying to your face and telling you these falsehoods. That means that is to tell you that there's probably so much more that she doesn't know about, that he's holding on to. Why? Because, and how do we know that? Because your behavior is going to tell us, your current behavior is going to tell us your future behavior, unless something changes. And instead of them coming on and doing these interviews and saying, hey, owning up to his lies, owning up to the nonsense, owning up to the children being discarded and saying those children as if they don't have your DNA, as if like Ashley, he is discarding these children. Do you not think that he can do that to you when you guys have children? Do you not realize that there's nothing that has happened within this man to make him shift or change or modify his behavior at all? So when you have that type of situation, you are talking about someone who has adopted these behaviors, has adopted a mindset that action is okay. It doesn't just disappear. It doesn't just go away. It will continue to happen. He will continue to lie. He will continue. You will see other things come out that should have been relayed early on, but they're not, because this is how he acts. This is how he's wired. This is how he's gone through life. But because someone can be so obsessed and so connected and tied to being married and wanting to be married and what marriage means to them, that they cannot let go and see the reality of the situation and see the reality of the person that is in front of them. They will dismiss a lot of things. They will dismiss red flags, as everyone knows it to be. They will dismiss character flaws. They will dismiss bad behavior. They will dismiss toxic behavior. They will dismiss things that show that they are they are a manipulative person. And granted, everybody has stuff. Everybody has to deal with their stuff. Nobody is perfect. Nobody has 100% emotional intelligence or emotional growth or what have you. But good God Almighty, honey, you want to just admit it. You want to be married. You want to you do not want, and listen, I'm a God-fearing woman as well, but this man is showing you who he is and you're not believing him. And it's not just Ashley. It's also other women and men too who literally dismiss signs, that dismiss behavior that is indicative of the person's character. So then when the person's character begins to show up later on, you're surprised, you're hurt, you're confused, you blame God, you question God, all these things are happening. You're suffering unnecessarily when actually you were shown who this person is. And now if you're saying, okay, I'm just going to accept this person for who they are, it is what it is, I'm already here, I'm already going to be married. Okay, well then say that. Don't come and start tooting his horn and saying that he's this and that and the other, and you respect marriage and you fear God and you're already married and so you're going to stay. No, this doesn't have anything to do with marriage. This has everything to do with you idolizing marriage, the institution of marriage, wanting to be married so much that you are not even paying attention to the bold-faced truth that is in front of you and that confronts you. And that, my dear, is scary. You are leaving yourself vulnerable, because if this can happen and there is no type of accountability, there is no type of, hey, I said this to her in the pods, I said this to her in the beginning, and I didn't relay the truth, and I'm sorry about that, because I realized that that's not the way things should be, and that's not the way things go, and she's forgiven me, and now we're going to move over with a clean slate, and she's very much aware of who I am and what I got going on, and I'm aware of who she is and what she's got going on. Okay, but that's not what we're talking about. That is not what we're talking about. That is not what we're discussing. That is not what these people are saying. They are literally telling us that we should just accept whatever it is that they're shoving down our throat. And I have no problem. Whatever choice you decide to make in your life is your choice. It's your decision. Even as a counselor, I don't tell people what to do. I ask them what their desire is, and then we put forth a plan to make that desire come to pass. And not in a manipulative, forceful way, but what actions do you need to take? What beliefs do you need to take? What type of understanding do you need to have so that you can get the results that you want to get in your life? But even as a counselor, I'm still going to say, hey, did you notice this? Did you notice that? What does that mean to you? How does that play out how does that play out for you in the future? What do you think that's indicative of? Do you think that could, I'm going to ask these questions to make you think, to make you jog, to make you provoke you mentally, and to think long term, not just short term. This is literally idolatry of marriage. You want to be married so bad that you're putting yourself in a very vulnerable, harmful position, in a position that can absolutely lead to suffering unnecessarily. Now, if something changes, my skin feels so dry, guys. I'm sorry. If something changes and, you guys, go to counseling, you get therapy, and, since you guys want to involve us so much in y'all's relationship and what y'all got going on, and you want to keep defending your behavior and your actions, okay, cool. Keep doing that. But if you want to really be in a place, in a position that you actually enjoy marriage and you're actually taking it for what it is, okay, that's a different situation. That's a different conversation. That is a different revelation. But from what I'm seeing and what I know to be idolatry is where you are literally allowing something to be your God, to be so important to you. And a lot of times we don't even realize that we're idolizing anything. Like even entrepreneurs, sometimes we idolize our success. We idolize our business and what that means to us and how other people will see us and how other people will treat us when we get that car, we have that bag, and we do live in that house and this and that, the other, right? And we have so-and-so facial treatments. Like there's whole cliques and crews that they will never be your friend unless you have work done or you have injectables or you have a BBL, or you just can't be a part of the clique. You can't sit here. Okay. Why? Because they have lifted up how they look. They have lifted up their access to money and to things that allow them to look a certain way. They are idolizing. They have allowed that thing to be so big and so important that they dismiss what is actually matters and what actually is beneficial to you in the long run. For personally, it's at this point a matter of you have chosen this route, and obviously, no one can convince you out of it. And it's never about convincing someone not to do something they don't want, but actually calling things out for what it is, being real with yourself, and realizing that, hey, this has the potential to show up again in your life at another time. And when it does, what do you do? But because you have idolized marriage, and you have idolized being married, and you have idolized, probably romanticized being married to this gentleman so much that now that is all you can see. You can't see anything else. And so what happens is you throw off, or you put aside discernment. You put aside awareness. You put aside wisdom. You put aside what God actually has for you versus what it is that means so much to you, what it is that you want to have, what it is that you want to do, what it is that has to show up in your life at the time frame that you want it to show up. And it's so dangerous. It is so dangerous where we're putting marriage so high, even higher above God's best for us. And sometimes God's best for us is not what we think is what we want. And they very much talk about following God, and talk about, being in a relationship. And I think that that's great. However, there are times when even us as believers miss the mark, and we idolize. We have put so much importance, and we have put something up on a pedestal so high that even God himself can't even get up there. Even God himself, even God in his wisdom, even God in his correction, even God in his ability to truly lead you into the way that you should go. It doesn't even match up, because we idolize this thing. We want this thing so bad. It has to happen. It's just, if it doesn't happen, then all is lost. And because we can deceive our own selves, we will stay in a situation. We will keep going with something that God is not interested in. How many times have my clients, and I'm talking about my business clients, how many times have my business clients idolized this particular thing that has to happen in their business so much that they have a breakdown, so much that they end up having more debt than they have success. Why? Because you're idolizing a specific result. You're idolizing a specific thing versus, hey, falling back, figuring out, what is it that God wants for me? What is it that I need to be doing in this season of my life? And take that idol down, move it out of the way, and get clear-eyed and focus and see what it actually is that's going on, what it actually is there for me. Because here's how the brain works. Whatever you focus on, whatever you pay attention to the most, that is what has your heart. Wherever that's where your heart is going, it's going to lead you. That's where you're going to be. Okay? And so when you're focused on a certain thing, that means that everything else out here, you can't hear it. Everything else out here, you can't see it. It's not even possible. So even if there's wisdom to preserve your life, even if there's wisdom to preserve your business, because you are so focused on this idol, on this thing that you have wanted so bad for so long, you can't even see that, hey, what is actually for you and meant for you is over there, because you're right here. So that's the power of vision, but that's also the power of vision, positively and negatively. So that's why you have to make sure that your vision, or whatever it is that you're lifting up and exalting, can actually lead you and guide you. But in this case, in this situation, with this type of behavior, I really do pray for her, and I pray for, and I just pray that God's peace and wisdom will begin to fill her heart, fill his heart, and even anybody else in this type of situation where this thing has become so important to you that you idolize it, and in you idolizing it, you are actually being drawn away from the protection, from the grace, from the mercy, from the blessing, from the love, from the everything that God actually has for you. So everybody's calling me now. It's Friday. Let me answer the phone and see what's up with everybody. But I just wanted to share that, and also like give just, yeah, I just wanted to share that because it's just so dangerous and it's really sad to see. And I really pray for her to be led, and anyone, it's not just her, but she's just an example, right? And then I won't leave it up to her only either. I feel like he too has he was very manipulative in his dealings with her. Like he literally waited for her to fall in love with him before he now revealed and said, hey, this is my situation, this is what's going on, this is the real me. And so they, which is why I have a love-hate relationship with those shows, because you have these emotions that are running high and you have these expectations that people have, and they bring it together and they collide with little to no emotional intelligence, little to no therapy, soul issues and wounds, hurts and pains from their past, from their last relationships, from how they grew up, from all manners of things that they've never dealt with, they've never resolved. Most people don't even have the patience or the wherewithal to actually be with someone long term in a marriage and make it work. Opposites attract. So you have two opposite people, yet compatible opposite people coming together, but then they're just left to fend for themselves. They're left to figure it out. And most people, especially in our day and age, don't figure it out well. And it's sad and it's unfortunate. So really my prayer is that we would all put aside the idols, the things that we have exalted so much, that we want so much, that are just so important to us, that we can put those things aside, put God in his proper place, and allow his wisdom, his love, his kindness to lead us where we are meant to be. And not only will it benefit us in the short term, but it'll also benefit us in the long run. All right, y'all. If you know someone that could benefit from this video, share this video. Like I said, I like these shows. I usually, what is it? Yeah, I usually tweet on these shows, but you know, it's just one of those things. So that's what I have. Let me know in the comment section how you feel about the situation and the relationships, and if you also want to discuss some of the other couples too, because the Nick and oh goodness, what's her name? Dadgummit, I forgot her name, but Nick and his fiance was very interesting, and I can analyze that from here to kingdom come. Just a lot of the relationships actually just show what a lot of people are dealing with and what they're going through in their romantic relationships, and sometimes it's really a mirror when we can see somebody else and we can not judge and not say, oh, I'm better than them, but rather say, oh, let me pick up that wisdom. Oh, let me make sure that I'm not in a heart space or soul space that I would I would be in a position for that to end up being something that happens to me. So there's that. All right, y'all. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Talk with you there, and have a good one.